I think there are a lot of misconceptions around energy management. The one that I've heard most often from hotels is that, if the guest is a very light sleeper, then the system's going to turn itself off in the middle of the night. How would you answer that one?
Okay. Yes, that's a very, very common question, and that's probably 99% of the questions we get asked from hotels. Now, basically, to answer that question, any good energy management system, the rule of thumb is that a energy management system should not interfere at all when guests are in the rooms.
Yep.
Energy management systems only take over, or only are meant to be working when the rooms are vacant. So a good energy management system has to have the ability to determine when someone is in the rooms and when the rooms are totally empty without any guests. That is the key to any energy management system. So that is a very, very important point. So when you achieve that, now, for example, the ones we sell are the ecosystem. We achieve that by having a combination of a door sensor and a motion sensor.
Okay.
We've come across a lot of energy management systems out there which just only have a motion sensor only. Those are no good. You have to have a very, very good system in detecting when rooms are empty and when rooms are occupied by guests. Once you've achieved that objective, then there's absolutely no issues that when the guest is in the room, we don't interfere, or an energy management system should not interfere at all with the guest operation. Guests can put on their own temperatures, they can switch things on and off as they please, they can go to sleep, they can do whatever they need to do in the rooms, and energy management systems should not interfere at all when guests are in the rooms. And they're only meant to take over or take control of devices when rooms are totally vacant, when there's no one in the rooms.
Understand. So I think in summary, what you're saying is that with a good system, the door sensor detects if somebody has entered the room or exited the room. In conjunction then with the motion sensor, it actually identifies there's someone in the room. And if it does, it says the room is occupied. When that room is occupied, then the system doesn't have any control over the HVAC. Guest has full control, setting the temperature to whatever they want. And as you said, it doesn't matter how light a sleeper they are, because the room is occupied and the energy management system doesn't have any control, then there's no way it would turn off.
Yes, absolutely right. So basically, yeah, absolutely right. So once the door, so basically the door always triggers everything to come on, and it then triggers the motion sensors to look for motion at the same time. So if for example, a guest walks into the room, everything will be turned on as soon as the door gets opened. And because they've walked into the room, the motion sensor would have picked them up. And there's normally a time delay. So we normally set it anywhere between 10 and 30 minutes. And within that 10 and 30 minutes, the motion sensor would have definitely picked up the guest. And then it latches the room into occupied room mode because the guest is in the room now. So once it's in occupied room mode, everything is normal for the guests, and the energy management system does not take control of the devices. The devices are left to work as normal as if there was no energy management system in place. So it doesn't interfere. And when a guest leaves the room, so when a door gets used again, it'll trigger the system to check if there's somebody in there. And if it doesn't detect any motion within that predetermined timer period, then the system would be confident to know that the rooms are vacant, and only then would it take control and do whatever needs to be done when the rooms are vacant. And as I explained, it could either be set to be switched off completely, or to be doing a temperature setback on the HVAC side, depending how the hotel wants it set up and what they're looking for in the form of energy savings.
Fantastic. Thank you for clarifying that. That's always, as I said, a question that hotels ask.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.